Hey everyone, this is a 99 Ford Taurus SE. The fuel pump has went out on it. There's not many of these old cars on the road, but right now, physically, I'm unable to replace the fuel pump the way it should be by pulling the tank out and doing it that way. 10 years ago, I would have done it with no problem. But this day and time, I can't. So she's a 99 Ford Taurus. It has 70,700 and I think 50 miles original on it. It belonged to my grandmother. She wanted my youngest daughter to have it, and 22 years later, the fuel pump went out. So instead of pulling the fuel pump, trying to pay somebody to do it, which I can't right now, I decided to go ahead and cut this access hole. There's really not much to it. I mean, you pull the back seat out, you pull this fire retardant cover over, come over here, and before you do anything, make sure you disconnect that battery. You don't want no power on it at all. But what I used was just a regular die grinder. I had some discs right here. And I'm pretty sure that it's a standard measurement for all of these. Probably the Taurus and the Mercury Sable and maybe some others, I don't know. But all I done was I came over here. I came over 20 inches from this door framing right here, 20.5 inches. I drew a line across here like this, and then I came over another third. Well, let me show you. I came over here, and that's right at 30 inches from that frame line. I made a mark. I made a mark on both sides right here, drew a straight line. I came down up here in the front from this crown, maybe 1.5 inches, something like that. And then I came back and I measured, and that's going to be probably about 8.5 right across here. When you start cutting this, after you've drawn your lines, I drew on the outside of my lines just because, but when you're doing this, if you use a die grinder or a regular handheld grinder, go along your mark, make you a mark in the metal, and a little bit at a time, just start working it. You don't want to go all the way in like this, because you're going to end up cutting these hoses right here, and I'm sure not everything is set the same way as this one here is underneath. But just start working that little bit at a time until you break it through. I cut out the 3 sides right here, and then back here on this back mark, I just cut a series of little slots right here all the way across. And when I started bending that, I had it held with one hand underneath, and I took the other hand and I pushed down back here a little bit to keep the fold in position. And this is what we have. So from there on, I mean, it's pretty simple. Take off these clips, pull your hoses off, break off this lock ring carefully, take your full fuel pump out, And I know on some of these fuel pumps, I'm not going to order that until I get it pulled out of the hole, because some of those comes with a plug that you have to splice the new plug in to fit your old unit. So when I get it out and I get it up to the parts store or online, however I'm going to do it, I'll have it in hand, and hopefully I can get the plug without any issues. So I'm not going to go through everything of pulling it out, but you can see this lock ring. You've got tabs that runs around here. Just carefully, if you've got it, a piece of aluminum or a small wooden block and a hammer, and just tap that loose until that ring breaks out. And you pull it up. Just be real careful, because you don't want to damage that float that's in there, which is your gas gauge, your sending unit for your gas gauge. But I figure I would at least get this far, get this video on here. And like I said, there's not that many of these cars left on the road, but I love driving this thing. I probably drive it more than my daughter does. But, you know, she's old. She's, 22 years old, 70,000 plus original miles. The car looks brand new still on the inside. So, I'll keep it as long as you can. And probably won't trade it in so she can get another car. I'll probably keep it and probably help her if need be to get another one. But anyways, if this helps or tells you anything, somebody's got to do this. That's great. And if it doesn't help you out, I'm sorry. But like I said, this first mark right here that I made, and I'll do it again, is exactly 20.5 inches. And then the next cut over, coming over here through the edge, is right at 30 inches. And then I came down, like I said, I would probably go safety sake 8.5. You could actually go even farther than that if you want. It's just a ballpark figure. But I have known in the past a lot of people, they start right dead center over here in the cowling. And I tried to tell them that fuel pump is offset. So, one of those things, you knew, they thought they knew, and they got it wrong. Not being a smart aleck or nothing, but sometimes it pays to listen. But anyways, if you like it, say so. If you don't, that's fine. But if you're in a position where you can't pay for it, you're physically unable to pull the tank out like it should be, just make sure you unplug your battery. Keep the doors open for ventilation. Clean everything off of the top before you get started. You don't want any more dirt going in that tank than probably what's already in there. But number one thing, wear your safety glasses and disconnect the battery. And I think you'll be just fine. Hope you watch this, and hopefully it helps you out. When you get ready to put it back down, you can seal it with some high-grade sealer, or drill some little tabs in there. But, just as long as it's sealed. So anyways, good luck. Thanks.